Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having a great day so far. Welcome to Marietta College eSports. My name is Matt Williamson. I will be your shoutcaster for today. We have a very exciting match for you. We have the Marietta College Pioneers against the Iowa State University Cyclones in League of Legends. It is the OAC versus the Big 12. Hope you're hyped up. Let's see that hype in the chat. This is part of the Riot Games Collegiate League of Legends series. Part of the regular season, there have been 6 games, and this is the last game of the regular season. Now, if you're thinking, does that mean this is the last game of eSports for League of Legends at Marietta College? Absolutely not. We have plenty of other games coming to you in the near future, which we'll be talking about, but I do see that our teams are already in the lobby, so they are probably going to be starting up the first game very soon. So, in order to make sure we're ready for that, let me go over the starting lineup for the Pioneers with this game. So in the top lane, we do have Bludger, Lucas Danford. In the jungle, we have RC Larson, Brandon Larson. In mid, we have Cressman, Scott Cressman, of course. And for AD carry, we have Dangerous Doge, Ian Darling. And at support, we have MC Cowboy, David Stratton. Now, we are looking the lobby in the lobby chat, and they are saying that they are ready whenever they are. So we should be starting up at any second now. This is a best of 3 series. The Pioneers will be starting on the red side for this first game, and I would anticipate that they will be on the blue side for the next game. The ready checks are coming in, so we should be starting just about any second now. And of course, I need to get the audio up here, so give me 1 second to get that working. There we go, and we're switching over. Here we are, Game 1 of Marietta College versus Iowa State. So let's see those bans and figure out who we're not going to be playing against, and then what is going to be the lineup for both teams. We do see the Lee Sin being banned out, so we will not see that in the jungle for either side. So we'll see what Marietta decides that they do not want to go up against here. They're thinking. Foolish child. We see the Lysandra being banned out, a pretty popular mid-champion. We will not see her in this game. So we'll see what Iowa State decides that they also don't want to play against. So we see the Karthus being banned out. A pretty popular jungler right now. He's one of those where if you really get the farm going, he could be pretty nasty late game. So we will not be seeing him in this game. Now I am expecting a couple target bans, so we do see the Thresh getting banned. That is one of Iowa State support's popular champions. And we see the Veigar being banned. That is one of Cressman's popular champions every now and then. So we will not see the awesome power of Veigar in this game. Now we'll see what Marietta decides to go for their third ban. And we do see the Aurelion Sol being banned out. That is one of Cade's most popular champions. In fact, in a lot of the recent matches in CLOL, that has been banned just about every single game because Cade is very proficient in Aurelion Sol. And we do see the Tahm Kench being hovered for Iowa State, so that could be what they're prioritizing as their first pick. We'll see if they lock that in. And no, they switched to the Kai'Sa at the very last second. That is one of Master Goonmaster's popular champions, so they do prioritize the Kai'Sa, so we'll see if Marietta can come up with a good counter pick for that. But the fact that they were hovering over Tahm Kench makes you wonder if they will pick that later on. But they decided that they did want to get their AD carry picked. And we do see the Ezreal being locked in for Marietta. So now we'll see what they follow that up with. Maybe they'll go ahead and pick their support right away, thinking that they're going to be going up against Tahm Kench. But no, they do lock in the Rek'Sai instead. Rek'Sai right now is a pretty OP champion in the meta at this point. So that is not surprising that Larson wants to play her. So now we'll see how Iowa State decides to respond to this. And they decided to go with the Braum instead of the Tom Kench. I mean, when Ezreal's doing all that poking, Braum pops up the shield, so it is a good pick on Iowa State's side. Now we'll see what Iowa State decides to go with their second pick, or I guess their third pick technically. They're hovering over the Jarvan, and they do lock in the Jarvan. So we will see Jarvan as the jungler, or at least anticipating that to be the jungler for Iowa State. So now we'll see what Marietta decides to go with for their third pick. They're taking a good old time. And it looks like they're going with the Alistar. That is one of MC Cowboy's favorite champions, and we haven't really seen it that often. Usually because he gets banned out almost every single game. So this is going to be exciting to see MC Cowboy playing his favorite cow, of course. So now we're in the second part of the ban phase, so we'll see what they decide to ban out here. And we do see the Zed being banned. So there's probably going to be a lot of targets for the mid, because for both sides, they've actually yet to pick their top and mid lane for both teams. So it's not surprising that we're going to be seeing some focus bans in the mid lane. And we do see the Kennen being banned for the top lane. Kennen's one of those that can be pretty good in the top lane, and with the right team comp, the right engage, that all can really wreck a team.
Think what I could offer.
Then we see the Cassiopeia being banned out, so just more focusing on the mid. In fact, Marietta has banned 4 mid lane champions, so they're really focusing on Cade and making sure that really narrow his pool. And we see Xerath being banned out too, one of Cressman's favorite champions. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the mid lane champions will be, knowing that so many of them are banned out. I mean, you still got the Syndra that's pretty good right now. Anivia is still up. I know that's one of Cade's popular champions. We see the Jace being locked in for the top lane, so Bludger will be playing that. So now we'll see what Iowa State decides to go with their mid lane champion. I would anticipate Anivia, just because I know that Cade does like to play Anivia a lot. If he can't play Aurelion Sol, can't play Lysandra, he's going to play Anivia. So we'll see if he locks in at Anivia or decides to go with something else. And he's hovering over Orianna instead. And does lock in the Orianna. So this is interesting. I know he's played Orianna at least 1 or 2 games in previous matches. And we see the Scar... They wouldn't pick Skarner. They picked the Skarner! So is that a Jarvan top? That has to be a Jarvan top then. Because you would not... I don't know where else would you put Skarner. So... Okay. This is going to be a very interesting match. And we do see the Zillion being locked in for Cressman, so we will see that in the mid lane. Skarner is still a surprising pick, although I will say in the roster, I believe Talls is Iowa State's sub. So I don't know if their regular jungler is just... I guess it's just not available, but I do believe Talls is their sub. So that might be just part of his preferred champion pool. So I don't know if he's a one-trick pony with Skarner, or maybe just... I don't know. We're going to see what happens here, but this will definitely be interesting with the Skarner versus Rek'Sai. And of course, Jarvan at top lane. Haven't seen too many of those, but it does happen from time to time. So buckle up. This is going to be a wild match here with these compositions. So as we are waiting, because of course we are now in spectator mode, and we have to wait 3 minutes for the game to actually show up for you. So let's talk about what's going on with Marietta College eSports. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the last regular season game as part of the College League of Legends series, sponsored by, not really sponsored, but organized by Riot Games. And both Iowa State and Marietta College are 2-3 right now. So this match will determine whether Marietta goes 2-4 or 3-3. Unfortunately, they will not advance to the playoffs. You have to go either 6-0 or 5-1 in the conference. So of course, Marietta will not be advancing. However, there is what's called the Teemo Cup. And this is an additional tournament for all the teams that did not advance to the playoffs. And there are different brackets based on the amount of wins that you've had. So, like, depending on how Marietta does today, they can register for the Teemo Cup, and they will go against all the teams that were either 2-4 or 3-3. So we do anticipate in participating in that. With that said, the first match of the Teemo Cup will not be for another 2 weeks. So just as a programming note, next Saturday we will not be streaming. There will not be any matches for any of our teams next weekend. So we will not have anything on at that time. But the following weekend, we will have the Teemo Cup. At least we anticipate it. The registration for Teemo Cup starts early next week, and then matches start the following week. So we're assuming that they're going to use the same format as the regular season matches. So 2 weeks from now, so what is that? It is March 16th is when we would expect the next League of Legends match that would be up here on the stream. So we have that going on for you. We also have other teams here as well. We have our Overwatch team, and they've been practicing regularly, preparing for the unannounced tournament, which I still can't announce because the organizers of the tournament have yet to announce it, even though they were supposed to announce it over a month ago. So as soon as they announce that, we can let you know that we'll be participating in it. Now, for our Rocket League team, they did play a couple weeks ago as part of a Tespis tournament and did not advance. However, it came to our attention that the AVGL is starting up a Rocket League tournament in a couple weeks, and we are planning on signing up for that. So we will be doing that next week. So we will be participating in the AVGL Collegiate Rocket League tournament, and that's going to be come up in a couple weeks. So make sure that you do stay tuned for that. We don't have too many details yet because we still have to sign up for it. So if you want to find out exactly when our match is going to be, please be sure to follow us on our social media. Please be sure to follow us on Facebook at Marietta College eSports, on Twitter at Marietta eSports. You can go to our YouTube channel for all of our matches that we broadcast. So you can go to bit.ly/Marietta College eSports. So as we are loading up here, just as another note with the YouTube channel, so we do take all of our broadcasts and put it on there. So our match last week against Newman University is now up on our YouTube channel. So if you missed last week's broadcast, you can now check that out. Not right now, of course, because we have a live match here for you. But we can take a look at the match later on. The broadcast that you're watching right now will be put on YouTube later. It will show up a week from now. So next Saturday at noon, you can expect to see this match up on YouTube. If you want to watch it sooner, you can always subscribe to our channel. So we are now affiliated with Twitch. So we do have Twitch subscriptions. So you can feel free to subscribe to us so you can take a look at our VODs and get instant access to those. We did submit some emotes for approval, and as you know, those are going to take anywhere between 3 to 5 weeks before they get approved. But once they are, you'll be able to use custom Marietta College emotes on our channel. So we're excited about that. But yeah, any help, any support would be greatly appreciated to help with progressing our esports program. This is our first year here, and we've already been participating in a variety of leagues and tournaments. We are now affiliated with NACE. If you take a look at our channel, you'll even see that we are part of the NACE Twitch team. So if you're watching from that, welcome. And let me get the UI here set up because you hear that noise. So we are just about underway. So let's get that over here. So this is game one. Actually, let me fix. I think this is the wrong overlay. There we go. That's the right one. Now we're just waiting for all the summoners to appear on here. And there's already a pause, right? Before they even get summoned. Let's see if we can find out what's going on here. Maybe there was a connection issue. Maybe there was a No, that's the wrong button. There was maybe a bathroom break. Okay, so it looks like that some of our players from both sides are not feeling well. I know that some of our players have caught the bug that's been going around earlier this week, and it appears that several players from Iowa State are also suffering from the bug. So this will be an interesting game because as I'm sure you know, when you're not at 100%, that can affect your gameplay regardless of whether you're playing a video game or an actual sport. So that is going to have an effect on on both teams. So we'll see how this match goes. So we're just going to have to wait a little bit. I believe it's one of Iowa State's players that's not feeling well right now. So just give him a chance to kind of take a breather, and then we'll get back to you. So just hang tight for a second, and we'll wait and appreciate everyone's patience while we are waiting for the game to resume. This will be the opportunity to follow us on all of our social media, and you can even follow us here on Twitch. So whenever we do go live, you can see it. You can see the notifications that we are live to check out any of our future matches. Whether it's, well, you are watching this one, but whether it's the Teemo Cup that's coming on later on, or the AVGL tournament for Rocket League, or the unannounced tournaments that all three of our teams will be participating in, or any other teams that we would throw together. Now, we are looking into possible other teams, whether it's Apex Legends, whether it's Magic Arena, or Hearthstone. So here at Marietta eSports, we do consider a variety of games, and if there's enough interest to form a team for any of those games, we will definitely run it. So it'll be very exciting to see how the program grows as we get more and more interest. So any support is, of course, greatly appreciated. Let's see if there's any updates with how everyone's feeling. Okay, so it's just going to need a little bit more time. So once again, right now, just players from both sides have caught the bug that's been going around. And apparently it's all over the country because we got Ohio and Iowa going on here. So just hang tight for a little bit, and as soon as we resume, as soon as everyone's feeling better, we will resume. So thank you once again for your patience. It is much appreciated. I know that just waiting for a game to start can be quite tedious, but remember last week we waited a half hour before we could start our game, and the patience was well rewarded with a nice victory over Newman University. I don't know if that's going to happen this time because both teams are pretty evenly matched. As I said earlier, they're both 2 and 3 in the College League of Legends series right now. As far as solo queue ranks, the advantages would go to Iowa State. Most of them are either platinum or diamond, but in Marietta right now the ranks are closer to like upper gold, lower plat. Although I've had some that told me that in their promos they really got well, let's just say some of the other players didn't perform as well, so let's just say that their ranks don't necessarily reflect their skill. Once again, we are still waiting to make sure everyone is feeling well to be ready to start this match. At least one of Iowa State's players was not feeling well and had to step away. So hopefully he will be returning very soon so we can resume the match. as we are waiting for one of Iowa State's players to come back, we do want to give a shout to those that are hosting us right now. So I want to thank Cressman for hosting on his channel. We want to thank our friends over at Blind Wave for hosting as well. Your support is much appreciated. And if you are watching the game right now from those channels, welcome to Marietta College Esports. I know we are patiently waiting for everyone to feel better. Hope you're having a great time right now. We just have to be a little bit more patient as everyone starts feeling better, because playing a game like this when you're not feeling that great is very difficult to do. So right now everyone's just waiting patiently to make sure that everyone is at 100%. Let's check to see if there's any updates on that. Okay, so I'm feeling word that the player is feeling better. He has returned, so we should be resuming any second now. So once again, thank you again for your patience. We're just going to hang tight for a little bit longer, and then we will be good to go. We do see the play will resume in just a few seconds. And we see everyone being summoned. So here we go. Game 1, Marietta College versus Iowa State. As I said before, this is going to be a very exciting matchup. It is the Ohio Athletic Conference against Big 12. A Division III school versus a Division I school. That's the thing with esports. You never know who you're going to go up against. We've played against some big-name schools before. We've played against Iowa State. We've played against Alabama. And it looks like Iowa State is trying to get an early invade. Although they're kind of grouping up right in the mid lane. So they are going to get spotted out. And it doesn't look like they're going to get very much with that invade at all. But at least the Pioneers are aware of what they were trying to do. But it looks like now they will just kind of form a regular line of scrimmage here. You see the pinks coming out, just people trying to spot where everyone's at. And we see a little trading going on here in the top lane. But it doesn't look like there's going to be any response to that. So Jarvan will start with a little less health. So it looks like both sides will start with the red buff. Nothing out of the ordinary there. And we do see Marietta has done quite a good amount of vision already in the river. So if Iowa State tries to do any counter jungling early on, it will be detected. So it looks like Skarner is going to be going for the Scuttle Crab, so he will be spotted out because of the ward. So the ping goes out so they know exactly where Skarner is right now. And it looks like Iowa State knows exactly where Larson is too. They pinged him out and they know that he's going straight for their blue buff. And there isn't much that Iowa State can do about it right now. It doesn't look like they're going to try to respond, so... Oh, I see. What looks like they're going vertical camp. So Skarner's going up to their blue buff. So it looks like right now they're just going to be vertical jungle farming. So it's still very early for any leads or anything, but I mean, it does look like the CS advantage is currently on Iowa State's side, as we see that both the bottom and top lanes are being pushed in. But we do see maybe some potential ganks coming here, especially with Skarner being on the... Well, I don't think Skarner would be doing any ganks just yet, especially with Marietta being pushed up there in the bot lane. And it looks like that Rek'Sai will be heading down to the mid lane. So they may be looking for a potential gank there. That doesn't look like. Instead he'll be going for the Raptors. Meanwhile, Skarner is going to be going for the Golems in their jungle. We do see a little train, and we do see a gank attempt in the top lane. But Jarvan is able to get away from that, so not much gained from that attempt, other than just pushing him away a little bit. But he is already about a half health, and we do see Jarvan coming back in and getting some good damage onto Bludger. But it doesn't look like anyone's going to go down just yet. Now we see Jarvan getting very low. Bludger's doing a great job of pushing him in. So will he get the poke and try to get the first blood? Not sure yet. I mean, Skarner's not too far away, so they could try to go for a gank in the top lane. And it looks like that's exactly what Skarner's going to try to do. He is going to get spotted out. And we'll get away. We see the flash coming in by Jarvan, but misses. Although Bludger had to burn his flash too to get away from that spear. So both top laners are flashless right now. So we'll see how that affects the laning phase later on, since both top laners are vulnerable. Meanwhile, here in the bot lane, we do see Iowa State pushing out the bot lane and getting a big CS advantage. Larson's coming in to try to get the gank in, but will get spotted out. Although they are trying to back away, but it doesn't look like they will respond. But yeah, he was spotted out, so they knew just to get away and back out. Although now we do see exchange going on in the jungle. The pings are going out. You see Cressman going in to help with supporting. And they do get some damage onto Skarner, although we do see Cressman getting very low, but he will pop his ult to try to stay alive. But it looks like the ult will fade and has to flash away. And first blood will go to Orianna. And we do see more of Iowa State trying to come in to collapse. And it doesn't look like Marietta is going to be able to respond to this, so this is going to be another kill. So Iowa State did a really good job of just being able to collapse onto that. And that does give about 1,000 gold lead to Iowa State with that attempt. Or with the that kill attempt there. Although it's still early in the game, so even with a 1,000 gold deficit, just a couple of kills or some good CS play can definitely help the Pioneers come back. So it's too early to call anything right now. And we do see the engage going on to Kai'Sa. But MC Cowboy may have overextended a little bit and took some damage. But it doesn't look like anything else is going to be followed up from that. We do see some damage trade onto the top lane. And we do see the gank attack going onto Jarvan, and that is a kill for Bludger. So that will help the Pioneers get back a little bit. So every kill will help. And it looks like that Marietta will steal the blue buff from the Cyclones. And we do see Skarner around, maybe looking to get a gank in, and will get spotted, but he's already there. He pops the ult and gets it onto MC Cowboy, and MC Cowboy will go down. Ezreal does try to pop the ult, but it does get blocked by Braum's shield. And now it's just a matter of just trying to get away, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And that's 2 more kills for Iowa State. I mean, that was just kind of staying around a little bit too long and not getting out until, well, until it was too late. We do see Skarner's being pinged out and taking the blue buff, and it looks like Marietta is going to try to respond to that quickly, although Skarner is getting away from there. And we do see Crispin having to burn his ult to stay alive from Orianna's ult, so both mid laners had to burn their ult there. We do see some pings going out near the dragon. Could they be trying to start up the dragon? It looks like they are going to start it up, and then they're just going to back away. I think they were just trying to draw out Iowa State just to see if they can try to get a pick. And we do see Skarner coming in to clear the vision. It is a Cloud Drake first. We do see some more damage going to the top lane, and Jarvan is getting pretty low and will have to get away, but there will be no kills there. We do see the engage going on into the bot lane with the Braum shield, though nothing really is going to happen there. And it looks like that Larson is trying to start up the Cloud Drake, and Iowa State knows it, so Marietta's going to have to collapse as well, because if the bot lane doesn't go there to help, they could be in trouble, because the Cloud Drake's already very low, and they do steal the Drake. Orianna pops her ult and gets Cressman down, and it's just a disaster for the Pioneers, and that just does not be able to collapse and zone people away. Iowa State just waited patiently, stole the Drake, and got 3 kills for that as well. So that's definitely blown the game wide open for Iowa State. And we do see the bot lane being pushed up, and the CS advantage is definitely on Iowa State's side, with both mid lane and bot lane being ahead by about 20 to 30 CS each. Well, the top lane is overall pretty even. So I think if the Pioneers are going to win this game, it is going to come down to Bludger with his Jace. And right now both Orianna and Kaiser are doing very well. And it does look like that Larson is going to be trying to go for the Rift Herald right now. And they do pounce onto Jarvan. He will flash away, but he still goes down. So Marietta will be going, looks like, no, I thought maybe they'll try to go for the Rift Herald again, but they will get settle for the Scuttle Crab. We do see Skarner coming in, probably going to try to pop his ult. or at least try to get the counter gank in. And we do see the re-engage going in, but there's Orianna, but no one else is there to respond for the Pioneers. So they may be looking for a dive, and Orianna comes out, ult comes out, but misses. That would have been one dead Larson if the ult did land there. And now because Mary had to back away, it looks like Iowa State will be able to go for the Rift Herald. So we'll see if Crespin's going to be able to do anything about it. And I can't tell. No, he did not get it. Iowa State did get the Rift Herald. It was a good try by Crespin, but it just wasn't enough. And we do see that the bot lane is being spotted out, but he's just trying to clear some vision. So not a whole lot going on right now. I mean, there are some pings going into the bot lane. Because Dragon's going to be up in 30 seconds. And it looks like it's going to be an Infernal Drake. So that is going to be a huge one to contest. The teleport comes in. So it looks like Jarvan will be joining this fight. And then we see Bludger coming. But it looks like it's maybe just been a little too late. And all 5 members of Iowa State is there to respond. And they just did a better job of collapsing onto the Pioneers. So this will be a free dragon for Iowa State with 2 of the Pioneers down. And looks like they will summon the Rift Herald for the bot lane as well to get some pressure there. So Marietta is going to have to respond to this while working on the Infernal Drake. And it looks like they're not even going to give Marietta a chance to actually defend the Rift Herald. And the Infernal Drake will go to the Cyclones. And I'm going to guess that the Rift Herald has been taken care of. But that definitely gives Iowa State a pretty significant lead, approximately 5,000 gold at about a little over 16 minutes into the game. So Marietta's going to have to do a better job with team fights. The problem they're having is that whenever there's an engage, Iowa State is faster to respond. And then they just win with numbers alone. If it's a 3v4, they're going to win every time. Iowa's going to win every time. So Marietta, if they're going to engage, they have to make sure they win the numbers fight. So in that last fight, Jarvan teleported in probably about a good 10 seconds before Bludger did. And as a result, they were able to get some kills before Bludger was even there. Or at least everyone was already low before Bludger was able to arrive. So they're going to have to use strength in numbers if they're going to be able to come back from this. And we do see the engage going into the top lane, and Orianna's ult just completely deletes both Larson and Bludger. This is looking like a bloodbath. And we do see the engage onto MC Cowboy to try to get some damage into Braum and Kaiser, but it's just not enough. Although Braum's getting very low, The Ezreal comes in, and the bomb does explode Braum, so the Pioneers do get a kill. But meanwhile, three of the Cyclones in the top lane are able to get the tower down and just start making progress towards the next tier tower. But the Pioneers are going to try to at least get at the mid tower, and we'll see if they're able to clear it, but Kai'Sa's there to defend it. And they are going to have to back away because here comes Skarner with the gank attempt, but we do see MC Cowboy knocking him away, but the Skarner ult comes in to drag someone behind. And Zilean had to pop his ult to stay alive. It doesn't get popped, but he did have to burn it. And they do see the attention's going on to Kai'Sa, and then she gets, and the shutdown will go to MC Cowboy there. So Marietta is getting a couple of kills, and they do see the engage onto Jarvan. Oh, the MC Cowboy's getting very low, and Orianna pops the ult to finish off MC Cowboy. And we do see the re-engage going on here, so Zilean will go down, but Jarvan will go down as a result. And meanwhile, Larson was very low, and Orianna was able to finish him off. So that is a 2 for 3 there, although it was technically a 3 for 4 with the initial deaths. So that was still a win for Iowa State. So now they're going to be, looks like they're going to, I'm not sure, they're backing away, getting some vision set up. So at this point, they're probably going to be eyeing the Baron because they're now ahead by 7,000 gold 20 minutes into the game. And Dragon's not up for another minute 15. So they are going to be setting up vision for him. Actually, they already have vision for it. So at this point, Marietta is going to have to look for picks. They're getting some kills here and there, but it's nowhere near enough. So they're going to have to be able to find someone out of place, pick them off, look for the mistakes, and capitalize it. But right now, Iowa State's not making that many mistakes. It looks like they will continue to put pressure in the mid lane. And they're really close together. There's not much that Marietta can do to respond to it. We do see Braum trying to get the engage onto Alistar, but nothing's going to happen. At least not yet. Just a little bit of trade and poke here and there. And we do see pressure going on to both lanes. We see two of the lanes. Jarvan's trying to put some pressure in the top lane, while the rest of the team is putting pressure in the mid lane. So Marietta has to respond to both lanes. And we already see Cressman has to go back to... It looks like he's going to go buy something or heal up a little bit. So if there was a team fight right now, the advantage would be on Iowa State. Although the mid lane is only a 4v4 and Cressman is coming back now. So if they were to engage, they would have the numbers advantage. And we do see the stun coming in. And everyone's having to back away from Iowa State. But Marietta is not going to be able to get the re-engage because they're already taking some damage as well. And we do see some damage going on into the jungle. Jarvan will pop the Cataclysm, and Larson's already very low and has to back out. And meanwhile, that mid tower is very low, so Iowa State's just going to go down and go straight for the Mountain Drake, and Marietta can't do anything to respond to this. So they will get the Drake, and the Pioneers are going to have to back away. Right now, it just seems like Marietta's just getting poked down and getting so low that they can't even re-engage in any fights, and that's just because of Orianna's and Kai'Sa's poke. Right now, the best that Marietta can do is just try to clear some vision in the jungle, get some vision back, maybe get some CS, but the CS advantage is still... Well, actually, it's not too bad. Bludger's ahead in CS, and Dangerous Doge is slightly ahead in CS, so he is keeping up with Kai'Sa CS-wise, but Kai'Sa still has 2 kills ahead of him. But the big CS difference is in the mid lane. Orianna having practically... That's about 55 CS ahead of Cressman. So Orianna is very dangerous now, especially at 704. And we do see some some stuff going on here in the red side jungle. Maybe a little bit of damage here and there, but nothing happening just yet. I think Skarner was hoping to get some kind of pick using the ult, but we do see the engage going on to Alistar. He's way in the back line, and a lot of damage is going out with the Ezreal ult, but Orianna does go down. But MC Cowboy will fall as well. Meanwhile, Jarvan's trying to get into danger zone and will succeed. And that right now is a 3-for-1 in favor of the Cyclones. So I mean, they got the Orianna, but they weren't able to follow up on anything else. They just got spread out and didn't really focus on another target. And we do see the ult coming out for Cressman, but... Well, no, not the ult, but... Looks like... No, neither, it wasn't an ult. But Cressman does end up falling. So that is a 4-for-1 in favor of the Cyclones. So at this point, they'll clear some vision and maybe set up for Baron. Or at least make sure they have vision, then they're going to back away to rebuy. We do see Larson just trying to start, just to ping the Baron a little bit, just to see if they're starting up on it and find out they're not. So he just backs away. But now at 25 minutes in, the Cyclones are ahead by about, looks about 8.5. Yeah, about 8.5k gold. So it is looking very rough. But this, it's just a matter of getting the kills and getting the good engages. So I mean, that last team fight, they did a good job with the Orianna. It's just nothing else followed up. We do see Braum getting a little bit of poke, but his shield will prevent him from actually taking any substantial damage. And we do see that they're clearing the vision a little bit at the Baron pit. Jarvan's putting some pressure on the tower. It looks like he will get it. Meanwhile, Skarner is looking to try to get something onto Larson, and we see both Skarner and Orianna burn their ults to get Larson down. So that is 2 ults burn, but that is going to allow him to start with the Baron because Larson's not there to smite steal. And there's nothing that Marietta can do about this. There's no vision there. And Iowa State will get the Baron, and it looks like they're going to head right back to see if they can engage. They even put pressure in both the mid and the top lanes. Because with Baron empowering minions, it's going to be more difficult to defend. And it looks like the focus is going to be in the top lane to get this turret down. And they will get that. And this will be an inhibitor tower, and they may go for the inhibitor as well. And the inhibitor is very low, and we do see the engage going on in the back lane. But there's no follow-up from the Pioneers. So they just kind of left MC Cowboy there to dry and die. Dry and die. And that gives him a chance to re-engage, and Cressman goes down. So that's going to be an inhibitor, and with 2 of the Pioneers down, that might be enough to finish up the game. That's 1 Nexus Tower. We do see Ezreal trying to get some damage onto there, but it's just not enough. They're just too far ahead. And that's 3 of the Pioneers down. The shutdown will go down for the Pioneers, but it still might not be enough. They already have both Nexus Towers down. Dangerous Doge will go down, so this looks like it is going to be game 1 for the Cyclones. They're just finishing up the Nexus Tower, or the Nexus itself here. And that is game 1 going to the Cyclones. And that just came down to having better engages. Whenever they did engage, they always had a numbers advantage. And whenever Marietta did engage, they would maybe get a good kill. But then what would happen is just not being able to follow up on that, or just the amount of poke from it. All right, so just give us a second here as we get game 2 set up. Let me get into the lobby real quick. On 1 second here. Reason having a little trouble getting in here, so just hold on. Let me see what's going on here. Hang tight as we get everything set up for game 2. Okay, there we go. Getting into the lobby. Alright, so for game 2, Marietta will be on the blue side, so we'll see what kind of adjustments that they'll make. I would anticipate bans on some of the champions, probably a Kai'Sa ban. But really, their composition was fine, and CS was pretty good. They just have to work on engages. Alright, so we got the lobby here, so as soon as everyone is good, we'll get the next one started up. As soon as we get the game going, we will get into game 2. This is a best of 3, so Marietta can still come back. So it's just a matter of seeing what adjustments the Pioneers can make going into this next one. So we'll see if there's any changes with compositions. Maybe they'll try to change up some of the champions they play up different compositions. But we will see what happens. And we are underway with game 2. So as I said, Marietta's on the blue side. We do see the Thresh being banned right away. But we'll see what kind of adjustments will happen with this matchup.
We do what we must.
We still see Lee Sin being banned. So far, we're getting the same bans from before. We see the Orianna being banned this time, so Pioneers do not want to play against that. And Karthus is still being banned. And they decided to ban the Skarner. They did not like the Skarner at all this time. So they're trying to avoid the picks there. Although that does open up the Aurelion Soul. And Veigar still gets banned. So this could be a concern because that does give Iowa State the chance to lock in Aurelion Soul, which is one of Cade's best champions. They will get the Lissandra right away, try to deny that from Cade. So we'll see how Iowa State responds to this. And they lock in the Bard for support. So it looks like we're going on a magical journey here. Haven't seen Bard played a whole lot, but here we are. Now we'll see what they decide to go with for their second pick. And they do lock in the Kai'Sa again, so we will see that in the bot lane. So we'll see if the bot lane wants to go with Ezreal again to go up against Kai'Sa. I don't know if that will happen or not, but we'll just see what they decide to pick. They are hovering over the Braum. And they do take the Braum this time, so we will not see Alistar in this. Yeah, we won't see Alistar. And they go with the Lucian. The Lucian Braum combo. Very strong in the bot lane. So a very nice pick there. So now we'll see what Iowa State decides to go next. If they don't get our pick Aurelion Sol here, I would expect that to get banned in the second wave. So we'll see if that's what they lock in. And they go with Morgana. Okay. So is that a Morgana mid? Because I don't see Bard anywhere else other than support.
Who dares defy my
So we see the Jace being banned, we see the Jarvan being banned. So we're seeing a lot of champions from the last game being banned. So it is definitely changing up some of the compositions here. And we see the Rek'Sai being banned. So that would be... that looks like... just about...
I do not
yeah, okay, never mind.
cowardice.
And we see the Darius being banned in the top lane, so Aurelion Sol is still up. So we'll see if they do lock that in, because that is something they could pick against Lissandra. Although, with Lissandra using her E to engage right on top of Aurelion Sol, it might not be very good in this matchup. So they may decide not to go with it anyway. Just because Lissandra, and it looks like they're hovering over Anivia, which is another one of Cade's preferred champions. So if he doesn't go with Aurelion Sol, he usually goes with Anivia. So they will lock that in. Now I'm confused. So Anivia that's the mid lane champion. So where does Morgana go? Is that a Morgana top, or is that a Bard jungle, or? Okay, I'm completely confused now. We do see Kha'Zix being locked in, so that is going to be for the jungle. Larson will play that. So now we'll see what they decide to go with for the top lane. And it looks like they are going to go with the cannon, or at least they're hovering over it. And they do lock in the cannon for the top lane. So this is interesting. So we got a pretty AP heavy comp for Iowa State. And they picked the... okay, they're picking different junglers. So it looks like they're trying to go with a jungler to counter Kha'Zix. And they go with the Vi. Okay, so I'm trying to figure this out. So, is that a Bard top then? It looks like it's a Bard top. So it's a Morgana support. So it looks like they were going with all these flex picks to try to fake out the Pioneers. But in the end, it looks like the Pioneers have put together a pretty decent comp. It's a very solid comp. And for Iowa State, I have to be honest, I've never seen a Bard top. The rest of the picks make sense. We don't see a whole lot of Vi jungle, but once again, Talz I believe is a substitute, so he has some different pocket champions. But yeah, and the Anivia makes sense, Kai'Sa makes sense, Morgana, but that Bard pick is just, I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. So we are going to have to wait a little bit before we get to the next game, so we have to wait another 2:45. So, as always, if you haven't had a chance to follow us on all of our different social media sites, this would be the perfect time to do so. So be sure to follow us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Marietta College eSports. We do have links on our Twitch channel, so you can always click on the Facebook button if you want to. You can go to our Twitter at Marietta eSports. You can go to our YouTube channel, bit.ly/Marietta College eSports. All three of the links are provided on our Twitch channel, so you can go just click on those. So if you don't remember the address, you can do that. You can always follow us here on our Twitch channel for any broadcasts that are coming up. And of course, you can always subscribe to our channel, so that way you get instant access to all of our VODs. If you choose not to subscribe, that's perfectly fine. All of our VODs will be uploaded to our YouTube channel a week later. So next Saturday, this match will be available on our YouTube channel. So you will be able to check it out then. If you want to see it beforehand, you can always subscribe to our channel here. And then don't forget, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have a free subscription. All you have to do is create a Twitch account, which is completely free. Link it to your Amazon Prime account, and then you get Twitch Prime. And so you would be able to have one free sub every month, so you can use that Twitch Prime sub to help support our program at no cost to you. It's just free support. It's a free $5. It's like Twitch is saying, here's $5 and give it to any streamer you would like. And of course, with Twitch Prime, you get all sorts of perks. So for example, right now, if you do have Twitch Prime, League of Legends has this new capsule bonus, so you get a free capsule that gives you some skins. I think it's like a permanent champion skin, a ward skin, and an icon. So I used that earlier today, and I got Final Boss Veigar skin, which is an awesome skin. So I was very stoked about that. So if you don't have Twitch Prime, be sure to get that. But once again, if you have Amazon Prime, you can get Twitch Prime for free. All you got to do is just go to Twitch and create an account and link it up, and then you get your Twitch Prime. So you get all the perks like the League of Legends free skin. You get the free sub that you can give to us or any other streamer, although it'd be awesome if you did give that free sub to us. They had a lot of benefits with Twitch Prime. And just as a programming note reminder, as we are waiting, so next week we will not be broadcasting any matches, but the following week we do plan on participating in the Teemo Cup. So we would anticipate that being on March 16th. It's not 100% confirmed yet because the tournament hasn't been set up. So, as always, you can always follow us on Facebook or Twitter. So that way, as soon as we know when we're going to be playing, we would put that on Facebook and Twitter. So that way you would know when we will be playing. So be sure to follow us on both of those. We do see the loading screen popping up here. So as soon as we have everything loaded, we will get that game to you. So we just need to wait a couple more seconds for this to load for us. So once again, thank you for your patience as we are waiting for this game to start up. Game 2 of Marietta College versus Iowa State. Not a whole lot at stake here with this because both teams are 2-3 right now in the season, so neither one will advance to the playoffs. But it does have an effect on the Teemo Cup because, well, depending on how you do, it depends on which bracket you end up with in the Teemo Cup. Alright, so we'll just move on over here, just waiting for the champions to load. So here we are, Game 2, Marietta College versus Iowa State. So we'll see if anything happens here at the beginning, if there are any invades, or if we just see like a typical setup. And it looks like Iowa State's already pinging for the invade in the bot side jungle. So MC Cowboy's going to have to look out for that.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
And he's going to have to move. The flash was already burned. A couple of flashes, and they're going to get first blood right away. I don't know what MC Cowboy was doing. If he just was not paying attention, but he was not anticipating the invade, and he does pay the price for it. So that is not a good start for the Pioneers. So they already get some vision in the tri-bush, as well as getting first blood, and that did go to Morgana. She can be a pretty lethal support. So Marietta will be starting from behind with that, but hopefully they can make some adjustments to help circumvent it. So we do see Vi starting in the red side and Marietta doing the same thing. You see a little bit of damage trading. But yeah, that first blood gold does give Morgana some extra mana regen, and we already see a bit of an engage onto Vi for both Lissandra and Kha'Zix, and they will get the kill, so Larson does get a retaliatory kill. And we even see Vi burning her flash for that. Actually, both Larson and Calls had to burn their flash for it, and the kill will go to the Pioneers, so that does help even it up a little bit. So that's exactly what Marietta is going to need if they're going to be able to stay in this game. And we do see the top lane Bard is holding his own. Although, we'll note in the bot lane that right now there is no vision for either side, so if there were any gank attempts, neither one would be prepared for it. Although Larson's way on the other side of the jungle, so I don't think we're going to be seeing any gank attempts there anytime soon. And meanwhile, we do see Bludger getting pushed out. Although Kennen very early on isn't that great, so you got to give it a couple levels before he really ramps up. So I wouldn't worry too much about Bludger's Kennen. But right now, the big difference we're seeing is in the mid lane, with Anivia ahead by looks about 7 CS over Lissandra. That doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it is going to add up as the game progresses. And we do see Larson trying to get onto Vi, and Bard's in there just trying to get some more damage, and it's just getting slowed down. And the Anivia is going to be there to try to fish him off against the wall. And Larson accepts his fate and just takes the death without burning anything else. That might be a case of just being a little over-aggressive, because Iowa State's strength is just being able to pounce on any engages, because both Bard and Anivia just went up there to help with that. Do see, and it looks like the magical journey will come in to try to get the engage onto Kennen. He does burn his flash to get away, and that looks like that's all that they wanted from that gank attempt. So now Kennen is vulnerable because he doesn't have the flash. And we do see I don't know what Braun was trying to do there, like he just kind of pushed up, but not much follow-up. And we do see Larson there, and the teleport comes in for Bard, and is there to counter-engage, and Larson will pay for it. And at this point, Lucian just needs to get out of there, because it's a 2v1, and he's not going to win that fight. And we even see Vi down there, but looks like they're maybe just going for an early dragon. Just knowing that both MC Cowboy and Larson are gone, this should be a free dragon. And we do see Cressman getting very low and having to pop his ult to stay alive. And it looks like the Nivea will get him down. And Larson does try to get the counter engage, but the Nivea will just flash away. And while that's going on, the Ocean Drake will go to Iowa State. Once again, MC Cowboy's trying to push something onto Morgana, but I don't know what he's trying to do there. He's not going to get a whole lot of damage, and he's just taking damage from Morgana and having to use his abilities. He's just overextending there. And we do see the engage going on to Cressman with the Bard coming in, and Cressman had to burn his flash to get away. So we see it looks like the Bard's role is just to use his magical journey to try to go around and engage as much as possible, or even counter engage on any gank attempts. And we do see a little bit of engage going on here in the bot lane. Although Lucian's getting very low and had to flash away from it. Might not have been a necessary flash to get away, though. And we do see Larson getting pinged down here and trying to get some damage onto Bard. Getting about half health and uses Magical Journey to get away. But Larson will also use Magical Journey, but Vi will use the ult to stop him. And Bard uses his ult to freeze. And meanwhile, Ken will burn his ult and just get away, knowing that Larson's already dead. And we do see Dangerous Doge going down there, so they get the engage of Morgana, but Kai'Sa's just there to get him down, and the double kill will go to Morgana. Kai'Sa takes some tower hits, but will get away unscathed. And meanwhile, Niven's getting a lot of damage on the Crescent, but he will eel away. We do see Nivea trying to see if he can get Cressman, and will go for the engage, but he gets popped up anyway and gets punished for trying to do the engage. So that's going to be more pressure onto the mid tower. And they do see some pressure on it and getting some damage onto Larson, and even though he's taking some tower turrets, he's getting dangerously low, and the Ignite will finish him off. So this will be the first tower for Iowa State, and at that point I don't know what Braum was trying to do there, because Larson was already dead and trying to engage in a group of three, he just kind of died. So right now the Pioneers are just not playing it very well. I think they're just desperate for kills and just trying to get into engages, but they're not considering the fact that Iowa State always has someone there to re-engage. Although Bludger does get the shutdown and Anivia is very low, but it doesn't look like they'll get the kill. And we see Vi there trying to re-engage. The ult will go in, and they do get the Vi down, so they do get 2 kills. So that does help.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
And we do see another turret go down, but the minions in the bot lane were able to finish off that turret. So right now, about 12 minutes into the game, Iowa State is already up by almost 7,000 gold. And that's just because they've done a better job with gank attempts, and whenever Marietta does engage, that they're able to counter engage. There's always someone nearby. So Iowa State is going for the Ocean Drake, and it looks like they will get it. And we do see MC Cowboy getting engaged on, and he will back away. And that's actually 2 Ocean Drakes. I forgot earlier they got an earlier Drake. So that's already 2 Ocean Drakes for Iowa State. And MC Cowboy's already very low. Pops his ult to get the re-engage. And Vi gets very low and gets popped. So that is a kill for the Pioneers. So that's exactly what Marietta is going to have to do. They're going to have to look for the opportunity to just pick off people one at a time to try to get back in this game, while making sure that they don't get out of position so that Iowa State can get the kill. And we do see Larson getting a lot of damage onto Kaiser, and does get the shutdown. So that, yeah, that's exactly what we need. So it was a very good kill by Larson to just capitalize on the fact that Kaiser was by herself, didn't have any help. And we do see a fight going here at the top lane, and Kennen does get the kill. And actually there's 2 going down for Iowa State. So Marietta is starting to come back, slowly getting the eating away at the gold lead that Iowa State has. So now it's about a 5,000 gold difference, but that's exactly what Marietta needs to be able to come back. So they just got to play smart. They're still not out of the woods just yet, but this is going to allow them to get some pressure onto the mid tower. I don't know if this is going to be enough to finish it off. We do see Vi coming here to contest it. But just little things like that, just getting small wins is going to help make a difference. So this game is far from over. We do see Kennen getting a lot of damage onto the top tower. And it looks like that Vi is going to want to get to engage onto Larson. But Lucian's there to help out, and they are ready to counter engage if Iowa State tries to strike. But Marietta will back away, just knowing that this is not the right position for them. We do see some wards going down to try to get some vision. And it looks like Vi is eyeing for the Rift Herald. And with everyone backing away, there's nothing the Pioneers can do to contest that Rift Herald. So that will be a free Rift Herald. They know that they're there, but there's nothing they can do to counter that. So Iowa State will get the Rift Herald. So now we'll see where they go. They are grouping up, and they do get the engage onto Larson. And we do see him trying to put the shield up, but there's just too many people there, and he just gets blown up. And Crespo has to pop his ult just to stay alive, but he's going to get popped. We do see Vi getting penalized. I mean, getting pulled off and letting the tower finish off. Morgana gets very low and goes down, so it is a 2-for-2. The Kennen ult comes in and will get Kaiser, so that is a 3-for-2 right now in favor of the Pioneers, and they're not done yet. And we do see Lucian trying to get some damage, although he's getting dangerously low. Marietta might have bitten off more than they can chew, and Bludger will go down. But meanwhile, Larson is trying to get the kill onto Anivia and will get it and get the shutdown gold. So I think with all that said and done, I think that was a 4 for 3 in favor of the Pioneers. So that was another win. It was a little sloppy, but it was a win. So that has closed the gold lead to about 4,000 now for the Pioneers. And we do see Larson trying to get the re-engage. That probably wasn't necessary. I don't know if he saw that both Vi and Morgana were there. But that was probably not a good call to try to get the engage onto Bard. We do see the Rift Herald being summoned in the mid lane. And Morgana got trapped and got picked off. And we do see the teleport. Well, teleport was coming in and gets canceled. The turret goes down and the Barnall gets 3 of the Pioneers. And the Cannonall comes out being ready to get the engage. And that's a couple more kills. Although the Rift Herald is getting some damage onto the tower. But Marietta does get a 3-4-0 with that engage. So it's 3 kills for a tower and a half. So that's probably it's a fair trade. That does close the gold gap now to about a little over 3,000. So Marietta is working their way. So it's just things like this, just looking for the right engages, getting the right kills. So Marietta's winning all these team fights. Although we do see Cressman getting picked off, and Kai'Sa is trying to go for the assassination. Did pop her ult to get Lissandra down. And Marietta is trying to re-engage a little bit. So Kai'Sa is very low, but so is Braum. So Marietta's going to have to be careful to not get greedy with kills and engages. So that was a 1-for-0. Just trying to put pressure onto the tower. And we do see Anivia knew exactly where they were, and all 3 of the Pioneers are getting low. And they're going to get out, and Vi was right there to counter-engage. And that was just a good play by Iowa State. They knew they were at the bush, even though they didn't have vision. Bard popped the ult to freeze him. Vi was there to cut him off when they try to run away. And that's going to be a Cloud Drake for Iowa State. And with the shutdown, the 3 kills there, that does extend the gold lead now to about 6,000. And they do get that Cloud Drake. Yeah, right now though, I mean, the advantage is with Iowa State. So Marietta's got to work their way back and just do what was working. Look for the mistakes that Iowa State makes. So that was, Marietta made a mistake by just being grouped up, and then you got both Anivia and Morgana, which can put pools down and just take a whole bunch of damage. So Marietta needs to realize that you don't really want to be grouped up on top of each other with these engages, just because of the area effect damage from Anivia and Morgana. So what they really need to do is what was working before, yeah, just capitalizing on their mistakes. Catch someone that gets picked off. So Marietta at least can try to go around and clear up some vision, get some vision in their jungle. And we do see a possible engage here. And we see both the Morgana and Anivia AoE. And just like that, MC Cowboy goes down. That Anivia Morgana combo is quite scary. Because with Morgana's bind, and then they can both pop pools down, that's just a lot of damage. And we see Kai'Sa putting a lot of damage onto Larson. He has to get away. The ult will go down. And the Barnall comes out and misses. And we do see Larson going down, although Vi got pulled in and goes down as well. But a lot of the Pioneers got stunned there, so that is a 3-for-1 in favor of Iowa State. And we do see the stun coming out for Kennen, but he will get away. And MC Cowboy pops the ult, but doesn't really connect. So this will be an inhibitor tower and an inhibitor. I don't think this is going to be enough to finish the game, but they at least do get an inhibitor out of it. So it looks like at this point, Iowa State will be backing away, buying up, and they're probably going to set their eyes on the Baron now. Get some vision set up there. Because now at 21:30, Iowa State has basically blown up the lead, now being ahead by about 9,000 gold. So Marietta had a spark there, but unfortunately, Iowa State did a better job with the engages and trying to lock people down. We see the Bard coming in to lock down Bludger. And we see the engage coming in, and Bard will use the magical journey to get away. We do see some vision going on in the Baron just to see, are they starting up the Baron? And they do realize that Iowa State has not started up yet. They're just waiting for the engage. If they win this team fight, whoever wins this next team fight will get Baron. And Iowa State is definitely looking for an engage. They're looking for someone that's by themselves and trying to get the pick. And they do see Larson's out by himself, but they get the drag onto Vi. And we do see the engages going into here. A bunch of damage. Morgana gets the shutdown, but Braum will also go down, so it's a 1-for-1. Bludger goes down, so it is a 2-for-1 for Iowa State. And Iowa State will back away, take the win. They won't go for Baron just yet because Larson's still alive, but they are going to put pressure in the top tower. And there's not a whole lot that Marietta can do. And Nivea is going to try to get some damage onto Lucian, but Nivea is just too strong at this point. At 8-1 and 9, Lucian should not have engaged there. So that is going to be an inhibitor tower and probably another inhibitor. So that's 2 inhibitors down for the Pioneers. So Iowa State is pretty close to finishing off the game, so they will back away. And at this point, I would expect him to go for the Baron, because with 2 inhibitors down, Marietta is going to have to do something about the super minions. And there's not much that they can do to contest this Baron. In fact, it looks like several are just backing away just to see if Marietta tries to follow. I mean, if you take a look at Marietta's blue side jungle, it is completely covered. There's like no blind spot there. So if Marietta were to try to go up there, they would know exactly where they are, and they do get the Baron. So at this point, it's looking like there's not much left for Marietta to be able to do to come back from this game. Iowa State is eyeing the Dragon. Although they are looking for the pick, and Larson's there by himself, so the Bardock will go there to stop them, and everyone else will just start pouncing on them, and this will be a kill there. Barry's going to try to re-engage, and they do get the Morgana knocked up, and the Cannonball comes out, but does not get anyone. Since the Hourglass was popped by Morgana, so they do get Morgana down, but the Mountain Drake does go to Iowa State, and Anivia gets 2 kills. Well, technically, it was technically 2 kills. Bard got 1 of the kills on the cannon, and that is a 4-for-1 for Iowa State. So with the Mountain Drake and Baron empowered minions, they're eyeing the 3rd inhibitor. So the only one that's left up to, well, Larson just respawned. So I was about to say it was just Cressman, but Larson did respawn at that point. But at this point, Iowa State is looking for the jugular to finish this game. So Kaiser does try to get the damage onto Larson, but it will not connect. And the Bardock tries to go in, but also does not connect. But the 3rd inhibitor will go down. So this is not looking good for the Pioneers to try to come back from this game. They are going to have to look for picks, but Iowa State is just ahead by 14,000 gold. So they're just too powerful right now. There's just a couple more super minions, and they're probably going to be able to do the engage and try to finish this game. So there's the super minion right there. And meanwhile, they're actually able to zone off the Pioneers while the minions are just doing their way with the tower. You see Larson trying to get the kill in there and will not get it. The Cannonball comes in and will get Kaiser. Cressman will have to pop his Hourglass, but he gets blown up. So right now is a 3-for-1 in favor of Iowa State. And it's looking like, yeah, so both Cressman and MC Cowboy go down. All that's left is Lucian. And he goes down, so that is an ace, and with all the minions, that is game. So that is the game, and with 2 wins, the victory will go to Iowa State. So with that, unfortunately, Marietta College does fall to Iowa State. Iowa State was just really good. They just did a much better job with engages. Marietta had some really good moments with picking people off, but Iowa State unfortunately was able to just blow the game wide open with some really good engages and some counter engages. So with that, that is the last game of the CLOL regular season. Yeah, so that's the last game. So Marietta will go 2-4 for their first year, and Iowa State will move on to 3-3. Now, as I said before, League of Legends is not over just yet. So there is the Teemo Cup, and that will be in a couple weeks. So we are still waiting to hear exactly how that'll be set up. Registration will be next week, so we will apply for that. So as soon as we know when the first match is and who we're playing up against, we will put that up on our Facebook and Twitter feeds. So be sure to follow us on both of those, so that way you're aware of exactly when we'll be playing. Be sure to follow us on our Twitch channel here. That way, whenever we do broadcast in a couple weeks, you will know exactly when it is, so you can come check it out. And then, of course, we will have updates with what goes on with our Rocket League tournament. That will be coming up in a few weeks. And anything with Overwatch, we'll be sure to update you. So once again, thank you for coming out today. Hope you have a great evening, and we will see you later.